Alright, Ball Lightning of Orbiting. Dan played this in the Four Stone race like a week or two ago. Since then, it's gotten some traction, and I haven't seen a full guide about it, so I beefed up his PoB here and added a leveling section, added leveling trees. I didn't really add too many notes. I feel like it's pretty straightforward, and anything that's not like super obvious I will go over in this video. If you have questions, you can comment and I'll try and get to it. Or you can more reliably just hop in the stream and you can ask a question or whatever. I will answer it. Yeah. So here's the endgame tree. It's got Unnatural Instinct, Light of Meaning, which is the old Paranda's Pact, just with a new name. Glorious Vanity with Corrupted Soul on it. So those are the end game things to look for. Obviously not early game, but just to give you an idea of the route the build heads to. I'm going to start with leveling, just to make it easier to explain the leveling trees. So from 1 to 28, you're going to do Rolling Magma and Holy Flame Totem. Flame Wall, it's still going to be the best leveling. Although, if you really don't like Rolling Magma, because it can be a little clunky, Orbis Storm, Stormblast Mine should be fine to level with still. Personally, I haven't done it in a while, but it's still fine. So, your movement skills are going to be, you're going to be using 2 Scepters while you level, and you're going to be Leaf Slamming and Frost Blinking. I'm going to grab in Act 2 your auras for Herald of Thunder and Skitterbots. You can grab Herald of Ash still, but they removed the spell damage portion from it, so it's actually not going to give you any damage on Rolling Magma. So, really not incredible anymore, so I opt for Skitterbots now instead. Wave of Conviction in Act 2. Then once you hit Act 3 and you kill Gravicious and you get access to his skill gems, you got Firestorm linked up with Archmage, Inspiration Lightning Pen. If you don't like Firestorm, which I imagine most people nowadays are going to opt for Firestorm, it's just simpler leveling. You don't have to worry about the 2-button combo with Cremation. But if you don't like Firestorm and still prefer Cremation, I've included the skills for that. And then in Act 3, you're also going to drop these 2 auras, and you're going to go Grace, Eternal Blessing. This makes it so it doesn't reserve any mana. So you'll be Archmage / Mind Over Matter at that point. You shouldn't have any tanky problems. You should be good to go. You just face roll through the rest of the campaign. So leveling trees. Start with level 19. I'll go through it like point by point or whatever, because a lot of creators will just stick in like 40 level gaps and not give you any direction. So usually it doesn't make a super huge difference, but I'll just give you the most optimal path. So you can start here and go through here, ding that, life, and then these 3 nodes. And then you'll grab these for the dex and the cast speed. Gonna head up here, not clicking Mind Over Matter yet. Up here into Elemental Overload. Then here's the 31 tree. Head over here, click the life. This life mastery is nerfed, but it should still be good early. Head down here through Firewalker, because at this point, you're still rolling magma when you're at this node. If you really need res, you can click all 3 of these. We got Arcanist Dominion. We're going to click this life node and the res. Also give stats. This node's very good. And then at this point, we're at Normal Lab. Got Conviction of Power. Something to note about the lab, all of Hierophant's nodes are really good. So I'm going to be honest with you. You have a lot of liberty on what you want to click. If you feel like you're fine defensively and you don't need this, feel free to click that for more damage. And if you really want more damage, click this. This is like hybrid defense and damage. This is pure damage. So whatever you're feeling like you need, go ahead. This one's mostly defense. I guess it helps your EO uptime, but yeah. So whatever you feel like you need, don't be afraid to deviate from what this POB says. All right, Cruel Lab. So at this point, you're going to be a Firestorm Archmage already. So we're going to grab these lightning nodes and then this mastery. So when we start to pick up mana, so, well, you maybe want to hold the mastery till you pick up some increased mana nodes. And then we got some cast speed here, some mana regen. Come over here, click the dex if you need to. Coming down here for the life. If you do, for this mastery, if you do have life on your body armor, obviously don't click it. And then at this point, we'll have Mind Over Matter on. Whenever you switch to Archmage at like 28 or whatever. Coming down here, got some mana nodes. Also, I think, yeah, I mean, you're going to want to click these. Honestly, you should probably click those earlier. I might update that. Here, Ellie Res, damage, mana regen here. Early on, maybe not worth clicking this because you're not going to have much strength. Life. Cruel Lab, we got Divine Guidance. And then level 62, Merc Lab. Gonna click some mana reduction nodes and increase max mana, reduce mana cost. We got some more mana here. We got some more mana here. This one also gives spell damage too. Then this is the ball lightning swap. Some things happen here. Notably, gonna spec out of these nodes. These nodes, ideally, you unspec too, but you might not be able to, and that's fine. Then I'm gonna click this mastery. At this point, when you get this mastery, you're gonna swap your curse to punishment. Got some more mana nodes here. Here we got Uber Lab. If you're feeling like you need mana regen or mana sustain, make sure you click all these. If you don't, you can unclick some of those. Keep the big one though. Oh, sorry, I forgot Merc Lab. Merc Lab's gonna be Sanctuary of Thought. Uber Lab, might as well start with that. Arcane Blessing, big damage. And with that, we have this node. This is a really good node, but that's with that lab point, because it gives you mana and effective arcane surge, which is huge. Now we're gonna head over to this side of the tree. Grab these suppression nodes. These are really good early because it gets you the lucky suppress mastery. Instant leech here is really good. You're gonna have a decent amount of energy shield, and instant leech is really, really good for your sustain. Okay, I think that's that. Level 90. I'm gonna change what that says because I ended up not. So originally I had this clicked, but with endurance charges buffed, now I don't know. This node, keep this node in mind. This is very good if you're not ailment immune, and if you're struggling with sustain. This will give you the life leech early that you're not gonna have. This is a really good node, but I feel like it's just edged out now early. Gonna grab the jewel socket, endurance charge, jewel socket. Early on, you can click the jewel socket whenever you have a jewel to put in it, basically. So if you have a jewel at like level 30 and it's really good, don't be afraid to click it. Lots of more mana nodes here. Jewel socket. These nodes are mana and energy shield. This gives us some Fizz reduction. And you'll be at full energy shield pretty often because of that leech node. And then here's the if you need mana sustain. This is a little bit higher. It's like level 95. At any point, if you're not sustaining mana, path these nodes. There's almost no way you don't sustain mana if you have these. So here we see in this tree in endgame, we unspec out of these, presumably once you have more suppression on your gear, you come down here and take Mage Bane and this and this. So only take this one if you have evasion on all your gear, which you might not. So, but if you do, it should be relatively easy to get spell capped. Spell suppress capped. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Keep a note. Okay, so in config, my gear, you are gonna need to get res on it, obviously. I just am too lazy to put it on the gear. It saves a lot of time to just put it in config. So make sure you get res on your gear. But other than that, what you're looking for on gear is really just all you're gunning for mana. You can see the progression here. I have 3 sets. The end game is not like super finalized. Oh god, phlegm, it's too early in the morning. Okay. So something to keep in mind is Ravenous Passion. This league is actually really, really good. This isn't even, okay, this should be, in config here, this should be a 30% more damage because of this helmet. So since they changed Rage to be more attack damage, I am assuming it must also apply more to spell damage. Otherwise that wouldn't make sense, right? It should be more. So this is a huge buff. That being said, you're gonna have to make up the spell suppress somewhere else. You might have to figure out how to path back here. Probably like, I'm not sure what you would unspec, honestly, but maybe like those 2 nodes, and then I don't know, something. See, the thing about this is it's like really, really tight tree. Everything is so good on this. It's really hard to unspec. But yeah, keep in mind this helmet for super endgame. A league start, don't worry about it, obviously. But yeah, that's the build. I have gameplay videos on my channel. I think I mentioned that at the start. If I didn't, there you go. There's some gameplay videos. Dan released a video, actually. If you want something with super detailed nodes, you can go look at Grotto's Ice Nova Hierophant. And they will be pretty... They should all be applicable to this build, too. This build is essentially just Ice Nova, but with a different skill. Like, the tree is the same, or mostly the same. So, items are all the same, other than, like, Tava's Thirst, maybe 1 or 2 items. So just something to keep in mind.